Brothers and sisters, we are taught in history, we are taught that history is best qualified and most attractive to reward our research. History has taught us that in times past, in times of trouble, God would never leave the people comfortless. He would always raise up men and women, that ordinary men in their person, ordinary men in their look, but extraordinary men and women in that they were imbued with the Spirit of God. And they were imbued to such an extent that they would be able to solve the ills and the problems that faced the community, even though they had scientists and scholars during their times that were unable to solve the problems. These men and women who were imbued with this Spirit of God were able to solve these problems. You and I were not there with Moses when he was called by God, nor were we there with Joshua when he led the battles of Jericho. We were not there with Jesus when he brought the great revelation of the gospel, nor were we there with the great apostles as they established Christianity throughout the world. We were not there with Muhammad, peace be upon him, when the great revelation of God for that Holy Quran was revealed to him. We were not there with the great caliphate as they traveled throughout the earth and establishing the great faith of Islam. You and I were not there with Marcus Garvey when he came and he began to build in America for our people. We were not there with many of the great leaders that we mention or read about in our books. But we are blessed today, here in the city of Memphis, to hear from a man who is imbued with the Spirit of God. He's a man that is so imbued that he can see the troubles of the times that we live. And while the social scientists can't solve the problems, while all of the religious leaders can't find a way to solve the problems, God has given us a man. And I stand here before and I say, you and I are blessed people that while we didn't hear Muhammad, we didn't hear Jesus or Moses, we are blessed to hear from a man of God today here in the city of Memphis. So I ask you, stand on your feet, bring him on with a warm round of applause. Show this world that you love him. I bring to you the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Clap, brothers and sisters. Show him that you love him. Here he is. Oh, praise him. With his wife, Mother Khadijah Farrakhan. Praises are due to Allah. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
Put any other names on there right quick so the minister knows.
Thank you. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, we give him praise and thanks for his many blessings to the members of the human family, that whenever any member of our family strays from his straight path and loses his divine favor, before he punishes, he always raises from among the guilty people a messenger, a warner, a prophet, to whom he gives that which is called divine revelation, by means of which he guides a fallen people or nation back to his straight path. We thank him for Moses and the Torah. We thank him for Jesus and the gospel. We thank him for Muhammad and the Quran. Peace be upon these worthy servants of Allah. As a student of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, I could never thank Allah enough for his intervention in our affairs in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, the great Mahdi, who came among us and raised from among us his messenger, whom all will soon know as the promised Messiah, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I greet you all in the greeting words of peace. Assalamu alaikum. Before I begin, I want to offer an apology to brothers and sisters of the Nation of Islam who might have been so tired they fell asleep during a part of a very important message. I thought about it through the night, and I said, I have to apologize to the believers who traveled through the night, worked very hard through the day, and not desiring to fall asleep, happened to fall asleep. But it reminded me of the Garden of Gethsemane. When Jesus knew that the hour had approached, he was in the garden praying until sweat fell from his brow like blood, and when he got up from his prayer, he went out, and the disciples had fallen asleep. And he raised a very important question. Could ye not watch with me one brief hour?
Yes, sir.
This is a very dark and dangerous hour
Yes, sir.
for any of us to fall asleep. And sometimes there are things that you can take that if you're tired, they wake you up, or if you're tired and you want to go to sleep, you're put to sleep. Babies sometimes need the breast or the bottle, and if the breast or the bottle is not present, a pacifier will do, but usually the baby will fall asleep. This is a very dangerous time, and we have to be very careful that the masses of the people are not being pacified by the fact that the first black president sits in the White House. This can pacify you and lull you to sleep in a dangerous time, making you to think that we live in a post-racial America when the opposite is true. So I just wanted to make that apology, and I pray that those who might have been offended will forgive me for being brash